we should have
I'm here, yes, sir.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, we have a quorum, and we want to welcome everybody to the first teleconference. It's the first time. Hopefully, we won't have too many bugs in trying to get this business conducted. And we will try to announce our names and make sure that you know who it is when we're speaking. And Patrick Cook is here present, along with County Clerk Sherry Walker and County Attorney Lynn Doss. And then our commissioners, Patterson and Johnson, are at individual remote locations. Then a little later, we're going to try to get the sheriff with us because he has some business to conduct. And we want to apologize that we're having to operate and conduct a county meeting under these conditions, but this is the best option that we have to do county business in a safe environment and also meet the governor's shelter in place and social distancing requirements. And this is to keep all of us safe, and particularly the citizens that attend. This meeting will be audio on the county website tomorrow, hopefully around lunchtime. So you'll be able to hear that again if you wish. And then we're again sorry we're not able to have public commentary at this time. But if we continue and need to meet by teleconference, we will find and make that a priority to find a way, a mechanism for comments from the citizens. And we will figure that out. That will be something, as we have to continue, we'll make sure that's covered. So this is a special call meeting. And the first item of business, commissioners, is to approve the minutes of the March 24th work session and March 25th special call meeting. Please let me know when you're ready to proceed.
I have no issues with the minute.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson has no issues. Commissioner Patterson?
I have no issues as well.
Okay. Then the chairman will make the motion that we approve these minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Patterson. All in favor say aye.
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 It's unanimous. And we will sign these minutes and let everyone else sign them here very soon. New business. Let's move on to a couple of variances. And our item number 2 is a variance request from OTF Holding, LLC. And this is part of the Old Toccoa Farms residential project. And this is a request to change the lot sizes that range from 1.157 to 0.273 acres. They have water, they have sewer, and this is to accommodate a number of smaller square foot cottages. And again, it has fire flow protection in place, and there's no conflicts with any other residential area. It's all self-contained within the Old Toccoa Farms. So Commissioner Patterson, I'll ask you, sir, do you have any comments on this?
No, I took a look at it and I have no issues at this time.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson, do you, sir?
No, it being its own self-contained neighborhood, I have no objections to it.
Okay. Then I apologize. I'll make the motions here since it'll save us a little time, but I'll make the motion that we approve this variance for OTF Holding, LLC. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Johnson. All in favor say aye.
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 Vote is unanimous. So we will approve this variance. Item number 3 is a variance request from Mr. Maxim, Britton, and Edmiston. And this is to build a new constructed home on top of a demoed property, and it will be exactly in the same spot as the previous resident footprint. And they're asking for a variance to go 8 feet from the property line. They have a letter of approval from the adjacent owner. The owner on the other side, it is 17 feet and well within our standards for acceptance. So basically, they're building a house on the same base that existed. And since it is a new construction, even though in the same spot, they did have to fill a variance request. Commissioner Patterson, sir, do you have any comments on this one?
No, I looked at it today, and it's on the same spot as it was, and we got 2 letters. So I have no objection.
Okay. Mr. Patterson has no objections. Commissioner Johnson, do you, sir?
With the letter of approval from the adjoining neighbor, I have no objections.
Okay, sir. And neither do I. So, gentlemen, I will make the motion that we approve this variance for Mr. Maxim, Britton, and Edmiston to build a new constructed home on the previous footprint. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Patterson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Approval is unanimous. Okay. Item number 4, Sheriff Kirby, I hope you're on here, sir. We're going to try to see if we can get the sheriff on here. We're going to hopefully get that.
Yeah, you got me now?
Yes, sir. Hey, Sheriff, welcome.
Okay. You've had me muted.
Okay. Well, we'll try.
Good thing sometimes.
We'll try not to do that to you again.
That's okay.
All right. Sheriff Kirby, you've got you have some vehicle requests and equipment requests, sir. We'll turn the
I do. Yeah, I'd sent Sherry the invoices on the 3 vehicles. I think it's $99,000 and something. I don't have those in front of me, but
okay.
And then the equipment for all 3 of them comes to a total of $20,232. And I was just needing to get approval to disperse those funds.
Okay. And these expenses are all in your budget, correct, sir?
They are in our budget. I'll have to move about $6,000 from one line to another to make it work because the price of the cars have gone up, but it's all there. It'll just have to be moved.
Okay. Commissioner Patterson, sir, do you have any questions for the sheriff?
No, I looked over the material that I received, and it all looks fine to me.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Johnson?
I have no issues.
Okay. Sheriff, neither do I. So I will make the motion that we approve the 3 vehicles, new vehicles for the sheriff's department for approximately $99,000 for those 3. And also for the equipment that's necessary to go on there for a total amount. I'm trying to read through this. It's kind of a bad copy. Is that $20,232?
It is on the equipment, yes.
Okay, all right. I'm fine with it, and I will make the motion that we approve both as one motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Patterson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. If you're in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the vote is unanimous. Sheriff,
Thank you, guys.
Sheriff, you're welcome to stay on here. We're going to discuss a couple of things, and if you have to run, go ahead. But you're certainly welcome to listen in.
No, I'll stick with you for just a few minutes in case anything pops up.
All right, and we'll leave you unmuted. So if you have some comments, because this emergency declaration certainly impacts you.
Right. Okay.
All right. Item number 5 is a discussion on extending the emergency declaration. Now, just a few minutes ago, the governor came on TV, and he had already mentioned earlier today about extending his emergency order for the state, but we didn't have many details until just a few minutes ago. Now, just for some information and for the public listening, we declared our emergency declaration in Fannin County on March the 25th. And since that time, we do have some information, some data points to point out as for information. Number one, our emergency services have dropped 40% for in-service calls. Now, this is for the paramedics, the sheriff's department, fire, all of our emergency services. And this is a positive because it's basically a 40% decrease in the potential exposure to our first responders and our law enforcement personnel, who most certainly are under a great amount of duress dealing with this pandemic. So that's a very positive factor, and it correlates strictly with our March 25th emergency ordinance. Now, the calls to 911 administration, that's a little separate than calling the emergency center, but these are up significantly, obviously because of citizens seeking information and trying to find out what some of these orders are. And some other additional information on tourism. The rental occupancy is down March and April, and most of that decline has been in the last 2 weeks. Additionally, overnight bookings for cabin rentals and tourism activity is down 70% versus 2019. Now, cancellations for cabin rentals, these have spiked. In other words, a lot more cancellations have come in for the month of April and for the month of May. But at this time, the bookings for June and July are normal for this time, which we all have great hopes that by that time we're back in a robust tourism economy. Now, the big concern, and we'll just reiterate this, and then I'll turn this over to you commissioners and you the sheriff as well. A big concern has been that as the tourism activity has declined in our county, that we would, and it's slowed significantly, obviously, that this activity would be replaced by folks that are coming up here from high-risk areas to shelter in Fannin County. And that is what we've tried to target and impact with our emergency declaration. We want to reduce that risk. Now, yesterday we had a conference call with the regional health board that covers our county and several others, and from the Fannin hospital professionals. And with the information they had, they were very unanimous in urging the Board of Commissioners to extend our emergency declaration and saying that this was the best measure that we could take to extend that to protect the health of Fannin citizens. Commissioner Patterson, if you've got any thoughts or any ideas on this, sir, please share with us.
Well, I just concur with what you just said, as far as the citizens' well-being, I think that would be relevant for us to extend it at this time, knowing the data we see and things like that. We don't want to start it too early and then have to shut it back down again. So I am in agreement with that.
Okay, all right. Commissioner Johnson, please weigh in, sir.
Well, first off, I want everyone that is dependent on the tourism and rental business to understand that I believe we all understand this is impacting every one of them. But at this point, I don't see how that we could do anything to lift the emergency ordinance and can continue on the trajectory we're on now, which is, I mean, right now it just seems to me like, well, you know, by the numbers provided, that the calls are way down, and that it does help all the county employees reduce their risk of exposure. So I think the alternative of allowing it open again at this point would just create a very quick vacuum to be filled. So I don't see at this point, with all of the information that I have, that I think keeping it in place and in order right now is the right thing to do. What say you, Sheriff?
Well, I think April 30th to line up with what the state has done would seem appropriate to me. I can tell you that you know, it's been a real fight keeping the crowds beat back up here, because everybody has wanted to come to the mountains to hide and get away and all those things. And you know, if we were to lift that, I don't think that it would have a positive effect.
Okay. Sheriff, did you understand, this Commissioner Helton, understand that the governor basically statewide stopped any tourism rentals until the end of the month, but he also left in play until May the 13th a statewide shelter in place? Was that the way you understood that?
Well, I've been sitting here listening to the news out of one ear and listening to y'all out of the other, and I've not really been able to get the specifics on what he did on the rental end.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told that that's what happened.
Yeah.
So I'll trust that is true, and that will certainly help. I spoke with his chief of staff late last night, and I expressed to him that what we need is some avenue to be able to stop people from coming here just on day trips and, you know, coming up here for no other purpose than to recreate and flooding in here on us like they have been. And he heard me, but I think the steps that they took were a portion of what we asked for by, we had talked about the rentals earlier in the day. We actually talked twice. So they did take that step. But one thing I did hear the governor say a few minutes ago on the news was that somebody brought up a question to him about churches. And he said that later in the week they're going to address that. So I hope that they're working on just a little bit more of a detailed plan that might incorporate some of those concerns into it that his office and I talked about yesterday.
Okay. All right. Well, commissioners, after hearing what we heard just not very long ago from the governor, he's taken the bull by the horns about vacation rentals, which coincides with what we've been trying to do here in the county. And I think it's a very reasonable thing. And to keep the confusion down, my recommendation would be for us to extend our emergency order through the end of April, since it coincides and really it does not conflict with what the governor has. And then we have time before the end of the month, if there has to be any other further decisions made, but really, with the governor making that declaration for the state and continuing his shelter-in-place order, that to me covers our big issues. And my recommendation, then I'll come back to you, commissioners. I would recommend that we simply keep our current order in place through the end of April 30th and expiring at 11:59 p.m. on April the 30th. And then obviously, since we tried to address this before our original order expired, hopefully this gives rental companies, tourism companies, and just all of our citizens some consistent areas to follow, and with plenty of time to plan ahead. We certainly recognize this is painful, and it's very difficult to have to put something like this in that's going to impact the business owners and really, very importantly, their employees. And we want to recognize the sacrifices that they're all making, not the citizens and these folks. And what we're simply asking them to do is to work with us to get through this pandemic. And we need all of our citizens to work together a little longer. And hopefully everyone realizes the real enemy is not tourists, people from any other part of the state. The real enemy is this coronavirus. And as long as everyone has that in mind, I think that we can all work together, and hopefully when we can open the door up again and fully support our business, and particularly those dependent on tourism, and get them back whole again as soon as we can. Commissioner Patterson, do you have any further comments before I ask for a motion for us to extend?
Yes, yes, Chairman. I need to get a clarification if I can. So we are going to keep it at April 30th because of the shelter in place by the governor, right?
The governor has, there's two things, Commissioner. Number one, he's instituted something new that he didn't previously, and that is to stop any vacation rentals in the state through that time. And see that
through May 13th or through April 30th?
Through April 30th. Now,
through April 30th. Okay.
It's shelter in place, from my understanding, and we'll get greater clarification. It certainly covers that time frame and possibly up through May the 13th. So
you say possibly? I thought he ordered that today. Did he not?
Glenn, Commissioner, we're covered either way through the end of April 30th with this on both issues.
Okay, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson, any further thoughts from you, sir?
No, I just think at this point in time, it's the only thing that we can do safely.
All right. Sheriff, any comments from you, sir, before I make a motion to extend our order through April 30th?
No, I would be in total agreement with that.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll let you have an unofficial vote then.
Okay.
Okay, commissioners, what I will do is make a motion that we extend our current county emergency declaration through April 30th to expire on 11:59 p.m. on the night of April 30th. Make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote on extending that. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay. Well, again, that concludes our business for the afternoon. Again, to the folks listening, we do have one more item. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. next Tuesday, April 14th, item number 6, we had scheduled our regularly scheduled board meeting for the Board of Commissioners. And since we've had this meeting and discussed pertinent business today, I would like to ask some opinions from the commissioners about for us to vote to vacate that meeting and hope that the second meeting time frame, April 28th, I believe, that we could go back to our regular meeting. But I'll open up to start with Commissioner Patterson on discussion about us canceling the scheduled meeting for next Tuesday.
Yes, that would be fine with me since we met today and the emergency and taking care of pertinent business, current business today. I think April 14th, we can go ahead and cancel.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson, how do you feel, sir?
I have no objections to canceling it. I mean, if anything important does come up,
right,
with this avenue, which we're trying now, I mean, I'm sure we could have a special call meeting
right,
at any time before the 30th if need be. But right now, with no pertinent business to be done, I don't see why we wouldn't cancel it.
Okay, I'm in agreement. I'll make a motion that we cancel the Board of Commissioner meeting of April 14th. I'll make a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Patterson. All in favor, respond by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All right. It's unanimous. Okay, commissioners, thank you very much for doing this. Any further comments from either commissioner?
No, I just appreciate all the workers, all the sheriff's department, the EMTs, and all the nurses and doctors, and especially also the people in the grocery stores that have been working extra hours. Everybody just pushing together and in unity to try to defeat this invisible enemy. I appreciate everybody's efforts. I really do, and it shows the Fannin County spirit that we have, and I'm very proud of that.
All right. Any closing comments, Commissioner Johnson?
I just wish everyone to be safe, and I'm real thankful for all the people that live here that are taking it serious, and they're doing everything they can do to keep the spread from being any worse than what it is.
Yes, sir. Well said. All right. I have nothing further, commissioners. I'll make a motion for adjournment. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Aye.
Thank you, commissioners, and thank you, folks from the public listening in. And again, we'll try to improve this if we have to do this again, and there certainly is that potential. But again, thank you very much. We appreciate your patience, and hope all of you are doing well. Thank you.